Hello, my name is Jason Steves. I'm here with my father, Stephen Steves, and we are here to discuss complicated health topics in a way you can understand to encourage and empower you to have abundant health. Today, we're going to discuss plant power from the earth to prevent and reverse disease. We're coming to you sponsored by Nutrition and Health Center, Steves Health International, and PERQUE Integrative Health. How are you doing this morning, Steve?
I'm blessed and highly flavored. Excited to share this message. There's so much here. It's a rich source of truth that God has provided us throughout the millennial since creation. But if we look at his promises, he did say in Exodus 15, if we'd follow his ways, basically, all of that passage, then no disease will come near you. For I am the Lord who heals you. So he heals. He's designed us to heal. And healing is all his credit. So we're excited to bring and talk about that today. So people don't need to walk in fear. They can walk by faith and trust him for their healing, as we have with our family for 30 plus years now.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday, how, going through a lot of health challenges myself that, can be pretty scary. But I, even in those challenges, had moments of like unsure, kind of not, what's going to happen. But, the more that I sought counsel, prayed, read the word, and trusted, that the healing would come, that I ended up being all right and not having to interfere with the healing process through
good word
things like surgery, medications. I was talking Brandy, my wife. She said when we first talked about certain drug things that we had taken, and I had told her, it shocked her when I told her I took a Tylenol one time. So I thought that was pretty funny. But so you mentioned herbs of the Bible. Tell me a little bit about that. I think you've studied that quite a bit.
Yes, for many years now, actually. There's about 128 different herbs mentioned in the Bible. We derive essential oils from herbs, and there's the plants that reference essential oils that are used in the Bible. There's more than 1,000 different references of these different plants and natural oils. So God first set that up on the third day, Genesis 1:11. He made the plants, and he said, I made those herbs. Grasses also as well. I've been drinking grasses this morning in a fast to prepare for this message. It's the grass of barley. That was a first fruits wave offering in the Old Testament. There's so much phytochemical rich nutrients in barley. So the grasses are mentioned, and they're more beneficial than when a grass turns into a grain. Barley eventually does mature into a grain, but the grass portion of it has healing properties. Yeah. Well, there's so much there, Genesis 1:11. So God plants all this. Then Genesis 1:28, he said he creates man. So the earth is already well set up for us to live here in the form of having plants and water and oxygen and sunlight, which there was a canopy over the earth, so there wasn't a lot of intensive sunlight. So he made him in his image, male and female, and then he blessed him and he said, go and multiply, be fruitful, subdue the earth, take dominion over everything. So immediately after that, the next verse, and God said, I've given you all of the things I mentioned in Genesis 1:20 or 1:11, the herbs and the fruits and everything that has the life in it. So that's what we're going to talk about. Man has been able to discover at the molecular level these phytonutrients and what they do for the body. Phytochemical is a term. Go ahead. You had a question?
Oh, well, yeah. I was wondering, you mentioned that was there a book that you would recommend that would be helpful to just kind of before you kind of get into it, that would be helpful for people to look at and maybe study a little bit? Is there any books that you would say are good?
There's a lot of different books on herbs. One of them, James Duke, is a good Christian author, and he wrote a book, Herbs of the Bible, but he also has a number of other good references on herbs that you can access. and understand more in detail.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was wanting to. Is it Duke's Handbook of Medicinal Plants of the Bible? Is that it?
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one.
Okay.
And I had, prior to coming to knowledge of him, I'd read the book Herbs in the Bible, but I've had other handbooks on herbs that I've used for years. So the phytochemicals that have been studied, the German pharmacopoeia kind of identifies the nature. And we're going to talk about the different nature of these plants to heal the body. But it's not the healing that happens from the plant. It happens from the actual body itself taking on the plant nutrients, and then of course the activation. Yeah, James Duke, what a great guy. Medicinal Plants of the Bible. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So phytochemicals have been used throughout millennial for the reversing of and healing of different conditions, things like diabetes and allergies and skin disorders, digestive disorders, anxieties, nervous system disorders, musculoskeletal issues, liver disease, cancer, virus fighting, as we're going to talk about. So the Journal of the American Medical Association back in 1995 did a study. It was published by Charles Marwick, and a couple of quotes out here, pretty powerful. Detailed studies at the biochemical and even molecular level are providing new information that the role phytochemicals, the active compounds in dietary fruits and vegetables, play in preventing and treating malignant disease. He says, at every step along the road to malignancy, plant chemicals tend to reduce the likelihood of transmission to the next stage. So the furthering of growth of cancer appears to be stopped by the use of plant chemicals. So that was JAMA, November 1995, volume 274. And you can look that up, pages 1328 to 1330.
We can look that up on the JAMA website, or how do you get there?
Yeah, you should be able to do a search online for that and read more about it in detail.
Okay.
A lot of times I just when I do research, I'll pull some of the abstract information that's most pertinent and just kind of summarize it. And a lot of researchers do that just to help make the message clear, because some of the body of the information can get a little bit deep in how they're doing their processes.
Is this the article here?
There it is. Learning how phytochemicals help fight disease.
Awesome.
So what's interesting is that an outstanding example of the richness of the resources available in natural products, it's a repository at the National Cancer Institute, has more than 180,000 natural extracts. And these come from 50,000 different plants and herbs. So they've been studying this for a long, long time and its impacts. Of course, Mediterranean diet, God provided. I have a picture I'd like to share on the screen. And let me get that for you. Shows some of the dietary fruits and vegetable compounds. Let's walk through those. Give me a second on my PowerPoint. There it is, because I was actually in Israel, and my first slide here shows, it does not show. That feature is still inactive on my computer. You have that PowerPoint I sent you last week? If you can dig that up, we'll come back to that on those plant phenols. Did some software work on this computer, but it's not there. Not able to share with you. Okay, so let's talk about what's in all plants, fruits, vegetables. Vitamin C. Been around for a long time. Linus Pauling received a Nobel Prize in discovering this and its benefits. And this guy took 10,000 milligrams all the days of his life, lived well into his mid-90s, 94, I believe. And 2 Nobel Prizes for his research in natural health. But let me walk through a list here of its benefits found in research. Scurvy resistance, improved blood vessel and cardiovascular integrity, enhances hormone health, enhances neurotransmitter function, improves immune system health, and reduces any unhealthy actions like excess amounts of cytokines that cause inflammation. Because I used to have an inflammatory disease, and I daily take high amounts of ascorbate, vitamin C, and I see the benefits. I'm walking and talking now and enjoying life, where I was condemned to a wheelchair many years ago. They said that was your destiny. Enhances nitrous oxide function, which improves vascular flow of blood. Enhances and repairs detoxification, improves ATP energy production, healthy bone formation, rebuilds glutathione function, which is your most active antioxidants your body produces to protect your cells, promotes iron balance. If in excess, it helps release it. If you have too little, it helps take it up. It reduces bioaccumulation of toxins, improves bowel transit time, protects the DNA from oxidative damage, reduces toxic minerals in the body, enhances natural anti-cancer surveillance, and has direct tumor cytolytic effects. So it activates the cytolytic compounds within lymphocytes that kill tumors, as well as those compounds also find the infected cells and kill viruses. So if you can, Jason, you might want to pull up your spider bite, because I want to briefly talk about one of the plant compounds that you came into first learning about was when you were at Christ for the Nations up in Dallas, and you were at school, and you were working at a camp for the summer, right? You tell everybody what happened there.
Oh, well, yeah, it was actually before the summer. I wasn't sure, but I want to say there was something that happened that, pricked me on my arm, either a spider bite or something. But I was out riding horses, and so I never saw the spider, but I definitely got swollen and in that area. I'll pull it up here, and it was painful.
So we talked, you asked me what you should do, because people are telling you go to the hospital, go in the hospital. When they see the picture, they'll think, oh, wow, that does look like you should go to the hospital, but it's a natural response of the body.
Yeah.
And the support that we were able to share came from, so here's your arm where the bite occurred, and you're pressing on the outer areas there to get the white pus to come out with the poison.
That's enough of that.
that actually eventually healed up. But all during this time, you took natural remedies, and especially high doses of echinacea. I want to read a little bit about echinacea from some studies, pretty powerful. This species of echinacea, PERQUE, boosts immune function, stimulates white blood cell production. Echinacea also has antibiotic, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory properties, which provide powerful synergy. It also has adaptogen properties for stress handling. So it's used in the use of recurrent respiratory tract infections and complications. A meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. That's the name of this article. So done by Schwab-Powell. In the abstract, he says this: respiratory tract infections are common. All these infections occur frequently in children, susceptible adults, and older persons. The risk for reoccurrence and complication relates not only to the presence of viruses, but also to the immune function. Therefore, modulation of the immune system and antiviral interventions such as echinacea can reduce the risk of reoccurrences and possibly the development of complications. And then he goes through the results of the study and concludes the benefits of it. So that's what you took, echinacea, in high doses. He talks about the high dose therapy, how it can actually help in acute conditions.
Steve, I've got this slide about the phytonutrient color gap. Is that kind of what you were wanting to look at earlier?
Yeah, let's look at some of those.
Okay.
And talk about the diversity that God made in plants. And this, on average, 8 out of 10 Americans has some type of phytonutrient color gap, we call it, where they just lack these sources of the colors that God created in nature. And they're listed there. 69% fall short in their greens, 78% fall short in the red area, and then 86 falls short in white, 88% falls short in the purple blue, and 79 falls short in the yellow orange area.
That's large percentages.
Yeah, it is. It's very common to see the kind of deficiencies. So if you'll scroll down in your charts there, or in your PowerPoint, you can see, keep going until you get to your first color. There it is in the greens. So back up one.
Okay.
So the nuts, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, this is kind of a summary statement. They have an abundance of what are called phenolic compounds and other natural antioxidants, including vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, been associated with the protection and or treatment of chronic disease. So go to the next slide. So this is National Cancer Institute summaries on lycopene and anthocyanidins. So these are the names that have been given to the phytonutrients. And like I say, there are hundreds of thousands of them. And these particular categories have the benefits of reducing prostate conditions or breast cancer. And I need to get a little expansion there. Look at that more in detail. There we go. Heart disease, even Alzheimer's impact, the anthocyanidins found in the red raspberries, sweet cherries, strawberries. Thank you, Lord, for these wonderful tasting fruits. I have some strawberries growing in the backyard. So let's go to the next one, the vegetables in the red category. Some of the same components, except they have zeaxanthin as well, a dominant phytonutrient in the central macula of your eye that improves clarity for vision. There's a lot of supplements are taking these extracts, but we just really also want to focus on high quantities of these fruits and vegetables. Beets, red cabbage, red onions, red pepper, good source.
It says red pepper. Is that, what kind of pepper is that has the zeaxanthin?
Bell pepper.
Oh, okay.
Or any of your hot peppers that are red. So red zeaxanthin color gives it the properties for that eye boosting. So the oranges, the presence of beta carotene found in many different fruits. It's a powerful antioxidant, boosts immunity. Some treatment centers, like the Gerson Center that was kicked out of the U.S. because he was a threat to the Cancer Institute, he used carrot juice as a sole source of rich beta carotene. He had people drink that 12 to 13 times a day and saw enhanced benefits to fight cancer. So beta carotene is known for that, and this is straight from the National Cancer Institute. And then the bioflavonoids with vitamin C are in there as well to help maintain elasticity, good for our teeth, our bones, healthy skin, and also vision. Let's see our next slide. We've got orange vegetables that have the beta carotene. There's the carrots and the yellow greens as well. Let's go through them on the next slide. And I love kiwi, one of the richest sources of vitamin C, help maintain good vision with the lutein and the zeaxanthin in there as well. And chlorophyll, powerful antioxidant, and of course folate, which helps with methylation, found in limes, green grapes, bananas, and wonderful additional properties. Some more on the yellow-green vegetables, indoles, present in broccoli and cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and some of these have detox supportive effects as well to help remove toxic compounds from the body, assisting the liver function for that. Swiss chard, turnips, rutabaga. Just God has given us so much. Let's see what we have next. Any other wonderful colors? And nitrates also are beneficial, like we find in spinach, to help with nitric oxide production and blood flow or vasodilation. So the blue-purple phytonutrients, that's one of my favorite colors. blueberries, blackberries. We're eating with the grandkids out of the garden just this weekend. Those blackberries are starting to turn nice and black, have all those anthocyanidins and the phenolics. My plum tree is not doing so well this year. It made a whole bunch of plums last year, but I don't see them this year yet. Okay. And then, of course, the cabbage, purple onions, eggplant. Some of these people are sensitive to because eggplant is a nightshade. Cabbage is great with some nutrients in there that are healing for the gut. Age-related issues of memory loss, helps control high blood pressure. So
you've used cabbage in the past for people's stomach issues or something, right?
Yeah, we have had a little 8-year-old girl who was going to get surgically removed all of the sores in her stomach. It was ulcerated. They were going to have to cut away more than half of her stomach. And we found them through a network at our church and just gave them a recipe for using cabbage and some ginger and some apple juice and had her drink it for 3 or 4 days before she had to go back and meet with the doctor. And he did one more endoscope, to take a look and see what was going on there, and found that the ulcers were completely healed and they didn't need to do the surgery. So pretty powerful. Gut mucosa, stomach lining, throat, mouth, those tissue cells regenerate really rapidly if you just give them the support.
Yeah.
Then, of course, allicins, that pungentness that's in garlic has a real strong immunity boosting effect, also helps with blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart attacks and stroke, and can reduce the risk for spread of cancer, particularly in stomach and colon cancer. And very strong, obviously, in their properties, but you need that smell, you need that strong effect, and not buying a particular product that has removed that odor, or odorless garlic does not have the therapeutic effect of the allicin. That's what gives it that potency, that pungency, and that strong smell. And then other things in the white category like mushrooms, cauliflower, and seaweed, jicama. Much that's out there. All right, that's about all we have on that.
Okay.
So the wonders of those plant compounds found in dietary fruits and vegetables. There's some other herbs, and we can kind of wrap this up. Herbs are most exciting to talk about. We're going to get into more information about these in further broadcasts, but slippery elm is helpful in taking to help that the name slippery elm actually helps the mucosal lining of the digestive tract to eliminate mucus and buildup of waste material. So it helps soothe inflammation as well, and it has anti-inflammatory properties. One of my favorites I take on a daily basis is aloe vera. It has some profound effects that we're going to announce here. Antiviral in its benefits. I did not know that until I dug into the research just today. Did not know it was antiviral. Immune enhancing, and it has anti-inflammatory properties. So we love our aloe vera. As a, people put it on their skin, cooling effect. You think about taking it internally, same type of benefit. You see a cooling, healing effect to mucous membranes.
So where do you use, other than the PERQUE zinc and throat guard, do you use anything else for the slippery elm?
No, I don't. That's
Okay.
the main one. Yeah, because of the compounds of zinc in there, and the slippery elm echinacea is in there. And it also has some cyanidins as well. I like that product. Really has some great benefits for supporting immunity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we give to our grandkids. I was handing those out on Sunday when they were over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my
good
son,
flavor too.
Jude,
He
takes them. Makes sure to ask us, "Hey, can I take my supplements now?"
Well, most of your lozenge products on the market are not using quality sugars like this one does. The dominant choice is the corn sugars are used that have glyphosate in them, chemicals. And so we try to shy away from that. That's why we like this product. And
Don't you have
there's
like an aloe vera gel that you sell at the office for
we
the
do. We
aloe?
use that gel.
Mhm.
We put it in with our drinks, our smoothies, especially like our liquid echinacea, the PERQUE that comes from the root. We're talking about echinacea and its benefits. And I remember when you were up in Dallas, we didn't have the opportunity to get you the stuff overnight. And I said, just go buy the most expensive echinacea at the store because we knew it would be the root form. Well, you looked and you saw that it was a root form. Uh, when people take echinacea, if they consume the flowering parts like the leaves, the petals, the stems that are ground up and put in a capsule form, because it's in the daisy family, there's a high risk of allergy response and an immune reactivity that you don't want. But the studies find that the most active compounds, the alkaloids, are found in the root, and people don't have immune reactions to the root form. So that's what you were using, and that's what we especially enjoy.
It's interesting you mentioned that. It seems like root, because the vitamin C product that you use is from potato, a root vegetable, and it seems like people don't have as much allergic response to that
Good
either.
comment. That's
Yeah.
the only vitamin C that we have used for, I think it's 25 years now. Pretty sure it was the first vitamin C. I had a couple others that I was working with, and they're good forms, but when you can see the white blood cells activity stimulated by the vitamin C, that particular potato form just was the Cadillac. It did the best work on immunity we've ever seen.
That's great.
You're muted there.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right.
Are there some other herbs that you want to touch on? I noticed we mentioned we were maybe going to look at quercetin or St. John's wort. You want to?
Yeah, definitely. Andrographis, St. John's wort are just amazing. St. John's wort has the benefit of an antiviral properties. It's most people think of it being used for depression because it has a serotonin benefit. It's just the multi benefits that the whole herb extract has for health in the body are fascinating. And we're hitting on a few points of them, but the phytonutrient properties are quite extensive in lots of fruits and vegetables. Research can't obviously dig it all and understand it all or even name it all when they see it under a microscope. The andrographis we use for upper respiratory issues, but quercetin is quite unique. It's not a plant in itself. It's derived from the source we use comes from the Sephora japonica tree, and it has like this yellow green color to it. That's the antioxidant uh, phytonutrient that's in there. It promotes repair, stabilizes oxidative stress in times of inflammation. And this particular one we use, called Repair Guard, has the highest ORAC value. If any of you've heard of ORAC, it stands for oxygen radical absorption capacity, of any of the other compounds that we've seen in studies. You could show a picture of that. And I have a handout that also has the active ORAC value and comparing it to other things like blueberries. And so they're just fractional in
Here, I'll pull this
comparison.
up here for you, the ORAC value.
Yeah, there we go. The bottom one showing the repair formula of quercetin, and then the top ones just fractionary in association with that.
Wow, look at that.
So we use that in all kinds of situations where someone's coming out of surgery and needs quick repair. They've been in an accident, and injuries of any kind. We're just to help to promote and stimulate the repair response in the body.
I took this after I got poked in the eye while I was playing basketball one time. took a high doses of this and vitamin C, and did never go and get any steroids for my eye, and just
Wow.
just washed it, and in 2 days I was able to open my eye again. It was pretty damaged, but I think now it's healed up, because I think I felt a scratch in it for a while, but um, I'm pretty sure it's healed up now. So
Remarkable. I don't even remember you sharing that.
yeah, it was pretty rough. So do you use this liquid St. John's wort from MediHerb?
Yes, that's our Cadillac highest potency one we enjoy.
Okay.
And then if you'll pull up that echinacea product, comes in that same form. It's the
Yeah.
echinacea premium.
Okay.
But the quercetin, I want to share a little bit more about it because I dug in to do some further research about it as we wrap up here. Quercetin has an antiviral agent that inhibits influenza A virus. So this study done in 2015. Now, here's the thing. If you can study it on one virus, but when you're looking at immunity, anything that enhances immunity, the immune system has adaptive abilities. The body has adaptive abilities in every case to when a virus changes its features and it becomes a different form, the body's immunity finds it and is able to root it out and destroy it. So this one on influenza A, though, the study indicates that quercetin showing inhibitory effect of its activity on the early stage of influenza infection, providing a future therapeutic option to develop effective, safe, and affordable, and affordable, and affordable natural products for the treatment. Some of the treatments that are using drugs in the area of immunity are just through the roof on their costs. So matching the power of high, thorough screening to chemical diversity of natural products was some research that I looked at. And what I loved about his research was he referenced the book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel made this comment, quotation. He said, "Their fruit will serve for food and their leaves for healing." So what eyes perceive in herbs or stones or trees is not yet a remedy. The eye only sees what is dross. That's a quote from Pericletus. So nothing's new under the sun, but herbs have always been around, and man has always tried to come up with his methodologies, but God's ways are far above our ways, Scripture says, and we just really are thankful for these natural remedies and understanding them, and just want to pass on the message. Thanks for taking the time, Jason, to do these podcasts and get this information out.
Yeah, this has been great. I appreciate you taking the time as well. And everyone, we just covered plant power from the earth to prevent and reverse disease. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we are here to discuss complicated health topics in a way you can understand to encourage and empower you to have abundant health. If you have questions that you'd like us to answer during this time, please give us an email at info@nutritionandhealthcenter.com. And we'd love to answer any questions you have during this time. We're going to very soon be taking this live to YouTube or Facebook. We're going to be kind of figuring out the days and times we're going to do that. And then, as I mentioned, if you have any questions, if you'd like to get in touch and set an appointment with Steve, check email info@nutritionandhealthcenter.com, or you can just visit the website, right, Steve? You can just go to the website and schedule an appointment, correct?
Yes, they can. nutritionandhealthcenter.com. They can do their own scheduling.
Great. Awesome. Well, appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you, Steve, for enlightening us, and look forward to the next time.
Thanks.